Welcome, everyone. Today, we're joined by Blair Schachterly, president of Nose Creek Physiotherapy, a Calgary-based business that helps clients restore their mobility, strength, and balance naturally with less dependence on medication. Blair founded Nose Creek Physiotherapy in 2001, and over the 21 years since has expanded the business 4 times and is now in a 3,600 square foot facility with over 10 wellness practitioners on staff. Blair, thanks so much for joining us today and for taking time to talk to us about your experiences working with Enkel.
Hey, no problem, Robin. My pleasure.
Awesome. Okay, so you initially started working with Enkel in September of 2022, and you use Enkel for bookkeeping and payroll services. To kick things off, why don't you tell me a little bit about your business?
Okay, great. So yeah, we started, as you said, Nose Creek Sport Physiotherapy back in, November 2021, if my memory serves me right. We had a small 1,200 square foot lease space that we literally outgrew within a year. And so we have gone through several renovations and now we're up to 3,600 square feet, sort of across the hallway in a small kind of service-oriented mall in Northeast Calgary, right on the Center Street in Calgary. And yes, we've kind of grown it into 3 stable sort of services. So physiotherapy, massage therapy, traditional Chinese medicine, acupuncture, and a great support staff team. So yeah, it's been quite a journey, and yeah, it's been great.
That's awesome. Okay, so tell me a little bit about yourself and your background.
Well, I've been a physiotherapist since 1992, so 31 years. And as you said, sort of a clinic owner for the last 21, 22 years. And, I still enjoy treating patients. So I'll treat patients up to 1 shift a week, sometimes 3, depending on the staffing sort of situation that we're going through. For my big learning now is in the management side. And so I do enjoy the management challenges, and I do enjoy mentoring and teaching our staff, both on the professional side as well as the support staff side. And my parents are both teachers, so I think I have a teaching gene inside of me. It's almost genetic. And so, yeah, I enjoy that part of it. And really developing our team members, over time and making them more confident, making them feel more relaxed with their role within the company. And and just continuing to grow the company.
That's great. That's awesome. Okay, so let's get into the meat of this. What brought you to Enkel? How are you managing your bookkeeping before Enkel, and what was your situation like?
Well, we got interested in Enkel and during sort of the COVID years there, and we quickly realized as I was going through kind of every single expense line within the company, I was trying to really contain our costs and actually cut back on some stuff. And we looked at bookkeeping finally, and I was like, wow, I think I need to look for another provider. Previously, we had a very experienced bookkeeper who I really enjoyed working with. And she was recommended to me by my retired chartered accountant at the time. And she was great, but she was also very expensive. And I did sort of approach her and asked her about kind of maybe softening the fee or whatever. And she was kind of resistant to that. And I said, well, okay, I'm going to be investigating, other providers. And then through Clinic Accelerator, they have a relationship with Enkel. A couple of my colleagues had sort of transitioned over to them and had some good things to say about it. So then I reached out to Omar, and I think I met with Omar a few times. And I think we did touch base back in September. We didn't actually start the onboarding until, I think, December, somewhere in there. And so we've been with Enkel now for about 6 months. And so it's been a wonderful journey so far. Yeah.
That's great. Well, since you were fairly new into your journey, why don't you tell me what it was like onboarding and getting started with Enkel? What was that process like for you to start working with a new supplier in this space?
Yeah. So it's definitely a lot of work. And I kind of knew that getting into it. Like my accountant kind of looked at me like, you want to change bookkeepers? Are you kidding? Like, he's just like, you've got everything systematized. Why are you rocking the boat? Like it's all automated now. But I was just like, well, I need some cost savings, and he's like, well, I understand. And so he was kind of against it initially. But then when I showed him kind of what we're doing and how it's going to actually systematize us and maybe even upgrade what we're doing a little bit, then he sort of was like, okay, let's give it a try type thing. And so the great thing about the Enkel program was, there's a lot of work at the start, but what I really appreciated was I'm old school. Like I'm not very tech savvy. And so I would reach out to somebody when I got stuck. So, like we're trying to set something up with, I think it was CRA or something, and I got stuck. I couldn't figure it out. So I reached out to Shane up at Edmonton, and he basically took me through and kind of, met with me online to show me how to do stuff. Early on, Laura was awesome too. And she actually did some monthly reviews with me of my P&L and my balance sheet, and really educated me on stuff that I'd sort of not really looked for in the past. So I think I feel a lot more confident when I look at the P&Ls and the balance sheets now than I used to. As a physio, you kind of, at the end of the day, you want to know whether the company made money or not. So that's where you just look for the net, income, but you're not really digging into why you ended up with that net income, So it's been a bit of a learning journey. And so I've really enjoyed that, actually.
Yeah, I hear that a lot from clients, is that, yes, you're getting the service, but there's so much education that you as a business owner or operator are also getting as a result of working with Enkel. So that's a thing I hear. So as a clinic owner, what numbers or insights are most important to you, and why?
Well, I think as being part of the leadership team of any company, like being the CEO, I'm responsible for revenue. So that's the number one number. I'm looking for that top line number. And my job is to, basically go up and get some new business for us and keep a stream flowing in. So I'm also kind of in charge of the marketing pillar. And really, I'm pushing I've got someone else within the company, my clinic director, that manages the physios and the massage therapists and the traditional Chinese medicine doctor in regards to their performance and management of their caseload and making sure they optimize every single client that we touch. But yeah, at the end of the day, like, you're comparing your revenue and then you want to look at your expenses. And that's really what I dug into the last few years, and really kind of trend. So they're running a little bit more of what I would call a leaner machine that is going to give us a better profit margin at the end of the day. But I do like the format, and I think that kind of gets into one of your questions as well, like the tech and the way it's set up. I really like it's very clear and concise, and I love how the format is set up over the last 3 months. So you're comparing how you did over last month and how you did 2 months ago, and it's quite intuitive and it's easy to read. And then you'll start to see numbers jump out of you, like, whoa, how come that's so high, or how come that really dropped down? And so Laura was great to kind of train me up on like identifying those numbers early and trying to take action on those numbers so that next month that doesn't happen again, or kind of explain away why that number went up or down. And we're really big into metrics and statistics within our company. And so that's always my question. My staff knows me that when we're looking at our scoreboard, I'm like, well, biggest question I always have, if a number goes up or down, I'm just like, well, why? Why did it go up? And let's figure out why it went up, and let's rinse and repeat. Let's do that again, because that was awesome, right? Or if it goes down, like, why did it go down? What do we need to change to kind of bring it back up? So numbers are really important. My job really is about statistics and relationships. And that's really what I sort of try to keep driving into all my teammates, is that, we got to hold ourselves accountable and be productive with our caseload, but we also have to maintain our relationships with our clients and our vendors and our funders and our community as well. So,
right. So my next question was around the reporting. So what does it look like, and how does it help you run your business and or make improvements to your business? And I think you sort of answered that. Is there anything you wanted to add to that about the actual reporting that you get from Enkel and how you take that and use it to, do different things in your business?
Yeah, my previous bookkeeper would have some weird entries that I was always like, what's that? And sometimes I'd call her up, and some months I'd be too busy. And so when I get the statements from an Enkel, it's a lot more clear. I usually print it off. I keep a hard copy, but you can just read it on your computer and it's all there. And so I just found it's smoother and easier now for me to interpret the numbers. Whereas before I'd kind of look at that and go, oh, well, we made money. That's a good month, and I just kind of move on, right? I wouldn't actually dive into any of the numbers, the details. Yeah. So I think just the format is, for me, being like a non-techie kind of guy, it's easy for me to manage. And that's what I really enjoy about it.
So speaking of tech, so one of the things obviously that Enkel brings to the table with their services is all the technology underneath. And products like Dext or Payworks or Carbon. Just tell me a little bit about how you find the tech stack that you work with, and any call outs or specific information about any of those technologies that you're working with day out.
Yeah, so with Dext, that's probably my favorite. I've told Ormar this because you literally put the app on your phone, and then you click on the app, it opens, and then you press a plus button, it opens up to the camera. You literally take your receipt that you've generated, and you line it up under a nice bright light, take a picture of it, and then you categorize it into the category of the expense it goes into, and submit, and you're done. And you can literally throw that piece of paper out. And so that's been like world changing for me. So I really love Dext. The other way you can forward expenses to Enkel is if you get an email like a monthly regular expense, you literally just press forward and you put, ours is Nose Creek Sport Physiotherapy at dex.com. And it just goes straight to the bookkeeping company. So I can literally flush all my receipts out right away. In the past, it was a pile of receipts that we kind of put into a black binder that the bookkeeper was supposed to pick up once a month. She never did. And like, she'd come by once a quarter and there'd be this big stack of paper receipts. And I was always wondering, like, does she even check those? Like, are they even accurate? So now it's like, it's really efficient. The PayWorks is basically our monthly statements for our employees and for us. And so, I mean, that comes through, it's automated, it's an email. They have their own password, they can click into it, so it's secure. And the feedback I've got from the employees is they actually like that. It's paperless and they can check on it. If they have any questions, they can come to us right away and we can work with Enkel if there was a mistake. We haven't had any mistakes, knock on wood, as far as payroll goes. And then the carbon was a big, I really jumped into that one at the start in the onboarding. And so once a month, they'll send me a carbon sort of request. And the carbon program, basically, usually for me, it's the unknown. So the bookkeeper team is looking at, hey, Blair, like, what's this expense? Can you just clarify that? Or, and so there will be a template where you have to put some comments into it, basically, or basically just answer whatever question they have. And if I don't understand their question, then I'll usually reply with an email saying, I'm not sure what you're looking for. Can you clarify? And so they're pretty responsive. Like, they'll get back to you like within 24 hours, and we can usually move stuff along on a regular basis. So I think after 6 months now, and I remember, I think someone mentioned to me that it would be about a 6 month sort of experience period before things are kind of well entrenched. And I do have a person that does my accounts receivable and billings. And she's sort of to the point now where she thinks she's got a handle on where she has to put stuff as well. Because Enkel did train her on certain aspects they wanted her to do on a monthly basis because they knew I wouldn't be good at that. And they wanted somebody that was doing the billing anyway to be kind of involved in that. So I think it's been good. It's definitely a steep learning curve, but Enkel has always been there to answer our questions and help us out. So I think it's been great.
Excellent. And so you mentioned payroll and that is improved. So how has the payroll process impacted your business that Enkel introduced to you?
It's just easier now to put it like really simply. Like before, way back when I was signing checks twice a month, and then we sort of got rid of that, and then we went to direct deposit like everyone else did. And now it's just all digital, and basically, Lauren is the one that takes care of that. So she'd be the better person to ask this question to, but she will basically submit all the information to Enkel. It's another group we use with the payroll system, the PayWorks system. Yeah, they're part of Enkel, but they're kind of the payroll people. And so she'll submit stuff to them, and then they just process it on a bi-monthly basis because we pay our team twice a month. And then it just gets done. So yeah, it runs pretty smoothly. Initially, again, Lorna had to learn a little bit, but it's flowing pretty well now for sure.
Nice. Okay. Well, so is there anything else you'd like to share about working with Enkel for other organizations like yours who might be considering it?
Well, I think for me, being the old school guy and not the techie guy, and more of a hands-on physiotherapist, like any of you that are like me that are owning a company and you're looking to streamline stuff, I would definitely, contact Omar and the Enkel team to learn a little bit about how they can streamline your business a little bit for you. And don't be threatened by the technology. Like I say, embrace the technology. And through COVID, I mean, we were forced to go online with our EMR system within the company. And as soon as we did it, I was like, oh my God, I should have done this 20 years ago, And I remember people talking about taking pictures of their receipts, and I remember asking my bookkeeper about that. And she's like, yeah, we don't do that, Yeah. And even like there was something about pivot tables. Asked her one day, she's like, I don't do that, So it's just like, so I just think in today's day and age, you got to leverage the technology to reduce your time, because the most valuable asset in life is time. And so if you want to kind of speed up the process and limit your time involved in these key sort of monthly processes, I would engage with Enkel for sure. And like I say, just embrace the technology and you'll love it.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for saying that. Blair, thank you for sharing your story with us today. I know that other clinic owners will be very interested in hearing how you're outsourcing back office functions to Enkel and how it's helped you operate your clinic more efficiently. So best of luck to you and your team at Nose Creek Physiotherapy.
All right. Thank you very much, Robin. Take care. Have a great day.